Hello everybody. In this video we will try to understand fixing muhurta basically. So in India generally when you want to perform some activities like marriage, housewarming, childbirth or starting a business, for all this you generally try to know about an auspicious time. That auspicious time is called as muhurta. So, what things generally we take into consideration when you try to fix that auspicious time, especially for important events, right? As we discussed previously, like marriage, housewarming, childbirth, etc. So, you can see it's based upon Vedic astrology, and the key factors we consider are Panchanga, right? We say Panchanga. Panchanga means Tidhi, Vara, Nakshatra, Yoga, Karana, right? These are the five limbs that's called Panchanga. So these are the five factors we consider when you try to fix an auspicious time. What are those? Tidhi, Vara, Nakshatra, Yoga and Karana. So fundamentally, I'm just giving one gist of it. What is Tidhi, Vara, Nakshatra, all this, right? See, Panchanga is the traditional term that we use, right? That is basically that we use to calculate auspicious timings for auspicious timings or festivals or rituals, any kind of astrological influence. We explain them based on Panchanga. So Panchanga, what are Panchanga? What are the five elements here? The five key components. Tidhi. What is Tidhi basically? Tidhi is a lunar day. It's based on the moon's phase. So it indicates auspicious, the day, right? That is Tidhi. It's based on the lunar, the moon's phase. I will try to explain you more, of course. And then I'm just giving you high level idea initially. Then Vara is weekday, is based on the sun. And Nakshatra is basically, as we know, there are 27 nakshatras, and these nakshatras we use them in matchmaking or rituals or in order to understand the personality of a person, right? We use nakshatras only. So nakshatra means where actually moon is placed on that day basically. And yoga is the union of sun and moon's positions. That's where we say yoga. It shows the overall quality of the day. And karana is actually affects it affects the outcome of an activity. So karana is also taken into consideration. It's generally half of a tidhi. So the tidhi means there are 30 tidhis, 30 tidhis of a lunar month. So 15 are Shukla Paksha, 15 are of Krishna Paksha. Shukla Paksha means it's a waxing phase of moon. The moon is becoming brighter and brighter. The whiteness is increasing and increasing. It's called waxing phase of moon. That's a Shukla Paksha. Paksha means 15 days. And there are 15 days in the Krishna Paksha. Krishna Paksha means the moon's whiteness is going to be decreased, and finally you see Amavasya, or it's a new moon day. So on the Amavasya day you don't find any whiteness at all. That's Amavasya, right? So after Amavasya you see moon again. That after Amavasya the Shukla Paksha is started, right? So once Shukla Paksha is started, the moon's whiteness is increasing, and finally you see Paurnami after 15 days. That Paurnami That's the end of Shukla Paksha. Then after Paurnami, the Shukla Paksha is starting. So after Paurnami, the moon's whiteness is started decreasing. Right? It's going to start decreasing after Paurnami. So after Paurnami, the 15 days are belonging to Krishna Paksha. Then once you reach Amavasya, that's the end of Krishna Paksha. Then after Krishna Paksha ending, that is after Amavasya, then moon is started increasing. It starts increasing, right? Increasing, and then that is after Amavasya, the 15 days are belonging to the Shukla Paksha or the waxing phase of moon. And the Krishna Paksha is actually waning phase of moon. So this is the Tidhi, right? So, and then Vara is, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. For Sunday, Sun is the ruling planet. Monday, Moon is the ruling planet. Tuesday, Mars or the Mangal is the ruling planet. And Wednesday is Mercury or Buddha is the ruling planet. Thursday is Jupiter or Bruhaspati or Guru, we say, is a ruling planet. Friday is Venus or Shukra, we say, is a ruling planet. And Saturday is Saturn or Shani, you say, that's the ruling planet. And nakshatra, you say there are 27 nakshatras because the moon travels through 27 nakshatras every lunar month. And yoga it's a calculation of yoga is based on the sum of the sun and moon's longitudes. So there are 27 yogas in total. We'll try to discuss in future videos. But in these yogas, some are auspicious yogas, some are inauspicious yogas. So this yoga is not the horoscope yogas that you see, right? It's a Buddhaditya yoga, not those yogas. These yogas are different in Panchanga, right? These are based upon that particular day. So the yoga, generally there are several yogas, 27 yogas we'll try to discuss. In that Siddha yoga, Amrita yoga, these are a bit auspicious. There are some more auspicious, but these are considered to be much more auspicious. Siddha yoga, Amrita yoga, and there are some inauspicious yogas also like Vyatipata yoga, Vaidhriti yoga. So these are a bit inauspicious, we consider. And Karana is, each Tidhi is divided into 2 Karanas basically. So as there are 15 Shukla Paksha Tidhis and 15 Krishna Paksha Tidhis, totally 30 Tidhis, and so for each Tidhi you have 2 Karanas. So totally there are 60 Karanas. We'll try to discuss them. And of course there are 60 Karanas, but there are of 11 types. So in those 11 types, Visti Karana, or you say Bhadra, also some people say Bhadra Karana, is considered to be inauspicious. See, generally choosing muhurtas for marriage, childbirth, travel, or starting a business, for all this we use Panchanga in India, right? For calculating festival days, or if you want to do any fasting like Ekadashi, Navaratri, Diwali, we fast on that day, right? So for that also this Panchanga is very much useful. Even matching horoscopes while getting married, we say Kundli matching, right? And then even for identifying some of the do's and don'ts in your life, right? Like avoiding Rahu Kala, right? These things, for all these things we use Panchanga. And now these are the 5 elements, 5 components we check when you try to fix a muhurta. So in addition to these 5 elements, we also see ascendant, the lagna, during that particular muhurta, during that particular time. What is the lagna running? Lagna is nothing but rising sign during the chosen time, right? What is the rising sign, right? And so, and of course that lagna should be strong and it should be free of malefic aspects. And Also, there is one important thing I want to tell you. While fixing muhurta, how the ascendant should be. So there are some guidelines from the rishis. That is, you can clearly understand the lagna should be strong and free of any kind of malefic aspect. Any kind of malefic aspect. And now one person has come to you and he asked you to fix a muhurta. Now you have seen all the 5 elements. I will try to explain you the 5 elements in much more detail, also how to fix which one and all the stuff. But before that, I also want to tell you what kind of lagna you need to fix during muhurta. One important thing is it should be very strong, in the sense it should be free of any kind of malefic aspect. And let us say a person has come to you and asked you to fix a muhurta, and he also gave his horoscope. And now you want to fix a lagna. You fixed all the 5 elements initially, the tidhi, vara, nakshatra, yoga, karanas, and then now you want to fix the lagna also, because every 2 hours you would be seeing 2.5 hours the lagna would be changing, because that is the rising sign, right? And now the lagna that you are going to fix should not be in the 6th, 8th or 12th house from the native's moon sign or ascendant. That is another important thing. You got it? So let us say a person has come to you and he gave you his horoscope. Let us say he is of Pisces ascendant. The native is of Pisces ascendant. Now, for Pisces ascendant, now you are fixing a muhurta, but in the muhurta you would see that you are fixing the muhurta, and that time Leo ascendant is running. That is, he is asking for some muhurta for housewarming. So on the day of housewarming, you fixed a time. Let us say at afternoon, in the morning 10 o'clock, and in the morning 10 o'clock, all the 5 elements, tidhi, vara, nakshatra, yoga, karanas are good. But at 10 o'clock, you are seeing it's running Leo lagna, Simha lagna. This person is of Meena lagna. Meena lagna means Pisces ascendant, and the muhurta that you set in that time, it's running Simha lagna, Leo ascendant. Leo is running, right? So what is Leo? Basically, Leo is 6th. Leo is 6th from his own ascendant. His own ascendant is Pisces, the native's ascendant. And you're fixing muhurta, and during that muhurta, right, so and so day, so and so time you fixed, and on that day of his auspicious time that you're indicating him, right? So not the day the person met you, but the day you're fixing. You will say, let us say a person met you on 10th April, and he asked for a good auspicious time, and you fix the muhurta of 25th April. So 25th April, let us say 10 a.m. During that time, everything is fine. Tidhi, vara, nakshatra, yoga, karanas. But on 25th April, 10 a.m., it's Simha lagna, Leo ascendant. So it's 6th from his own ascendant, which is Pisces. So you should not fix that. And also you should not fix the 8th one from his ascendant Pisces, that is Libra. You should not fix Libra ascendant. And also you should not fix the 12th one as well, right? 12th one is, for him the 12th one is Aquarius ascendant. So you should not fix Aquarius ascendant also for him. You got it? So 6, 8, 12 from his ascendant, that lagna you should not consider. And also from his moon sign. Let us say his moon sign is Aries. He belongs to Ashwini Nakshatra, let us say, or Bharani Nakshatra. So his moon is sitting in Aries. Mesha Rasi. Moon sign is Mesha, that's Aries. Now you should not fix 6, 8, 12 lagnas also from this moon. That means you should not fix you should not fix Virgo for him, because Virgo would be 6th, and you should not fix Scorpio for him because Scorpio is 8 from his moon sign Aries, and also you should not fix Pisces, right, because it is 12th from his moon sign. So during this muhurta you should not have this particular 6, 8, 12 rashis as ascendants from his moon sign as well, right? So it should not be, the ascendant should not be in the 6th, 8th, 12th house from the native's horoscope's moon sign or ascendant sign. You got it? So that is the most important thing while fixing muhurta. Now planetary transits also you should take care while fixing muhurta. What are the planetary transits? Planetary transits, we typically say them as gochara. So you should ensure that Jupiter and Venus are not combust or retrograde, especially for marriage. You know, when Jupiter and Venus are combust or retrograde, generally during the time marriage is not preferred, because Jupiter is retrograde, Venus is retrograde, or Jupiter is combust, Venus is combust. Because in Vedic times this Jupiter and Venus are treated, they were given very much importance. They are the most auspicious planets in Gochara, because in Gochara you would see the transits of Jupiter and Venus would give some good results based on their behavior. So if such good planets, if they are in the mode of combust or in retrograde mode, then you should not fix that time as that, you should not fix the time for marriage. And also moon is not afflicted or in a malefic sign, so moon should not be afflicted. Let us say moon is sitting with Rahu or Ketu, and that day and during that time you're telling a person, oh my dear friend, celebrate your marriage day I'm fixing as the day on which the moon is afflicted, that is moon is sitting on this Rahu Ketu axis. That is a very bad muhurta. Moon itself is afflicted, then how can you fix that as a marriage day? And also avoid muhurta when moon is in the 6th, 8th or 12th from his Janma Rashi. His Janma Rashi is the Rashi or the sign where his moon is sitting. Let us say he belongs to some Gemini moon sign guy, or let us say in the previous example he belongs to this Ashwini Nakshatra or Bharani Nakshatra, he is of Aries moon sign guy, right? So this Aries moon sign guy, when he is asking you to fix a muhurta, to fix a day for his marriage or something, you should not fix a day where this moon is transiting Virgo or Scorpio or Pisces, because during the time moon is transiting 6th, 8th, 12th or 12th from his moon sign, that is Aries. So you should not fix a Virgo day or a Scorpio day or a Pisces day for his marriage, right? So that is called Gochara. Based on Gochara also you should understand the energy of the day for him. And avoidation periods, some periods you should avoid for him, like now you cleared all these things like Tidivara Nakshatra, Yoga Karana, all these good things you fixed, and then you now came to this ascendant and also you checked Jupiter and Venus are not in retrograde or not in combustion mode, then moon is not afflicted, then you also checked 6, 8, 12 from his Janma Rashi and avoided those things also. Now another important thing is, on that particular day, the time in which you actually fixed muhurta, that should not be a Rahu Kala. That's not, Rahu Kala is generally treated as inauspicious daily time period. Every day you can see some duration as Rahu Kala. It should not be Rahu Kala, right? And it should not be Yamagandam also. Yamagandam is also another inauspicious time, especially for travel or starting new work. This Yamagandam period is completely avoided. For traveling and also starting new work, this Yamagandam period is avoided. And also another thing is Gulika, the Gulika Kala. Every day we have some period as Gulika. That Gulika Kalam should be avoided. It should be avoided, right, for any auspicious activity. And also eclipse day, you should never fix an eclipse day as a marriage day or some housewarming day for somebody. It's a very bad thing. So eclipse day you should avoid. So no auspicious tasks, right, should be performed on the day of eclipse. And also after eclipse also, after the day of eclipse also, you should wait for some time, at least for after some hours. Today let us say so and so day is eclipse. After that day also, better you wait for some hours and then you can fix a muhurta. If it is very much required, after eclipse day somebody wants to get married, somebody wants to do some auspicious activity, better they wait for some hours, and if it is suitable for his horoscope and if it is following some good energy, then right after eclipse day wait for some hours. Also another important thing is Chaturmasya. So what is this Chaturmasya? See, certain months in the lunar calendar are avoided for weddings. So we'll try to discuss that Chaturmasya. And the Chaturmasya period is completely avoided for weddings, right? It's also for some of the people, some rich people, they do not want to take risk and they do not perform auspicious activities generally in the Chaturmasya period. And also you need to consider some of the important things, like you need to check, if it is wedding, you need to check the horoscopes of the bride and the groom, and also avoid muhurta if that muhurta falls in the Janma Nakshatra of the groom or the bride. Something like you are performing marriage for some let us say person belongs to so and so nakshatra, let us say Uttara Bhadrapada nakshatra. So on the day of Uttara Bhadrapada you should not fix marriage for that guy, for that native, can be bride or groom, right? So you need to check. If it is Uttara Bhadrapada, avoid, because the native belongs to that nakshatra. So Janma nakshatra you should avoid always. This is a fundamental thing. If you belong to, let us say, Revati nakshatra, on the day of Revati nakshatra, better you avoid marriage or any auspicious activity. Janma nakshatra is your own nakshatra, is not suitable. That day itself is not suitable for you to do any activities, because see, Janma nakshatra, if you think astrologically, astrology works based on energies. On your Janma nakshatra day, how your energy, just imagine, your energy is that day itself you just came out of a different world, came from a different world to this world, and you're seeing this world. You are not completely settled down. Your energies are not settled down. Those energies are related to the energies of confusion. These are related to energies of a kind of uncomfortableness. So better you avoid. Got it? And also Astama Chandra is another thing, that is moon in the 8th from the Janma Rashi. When moon is transiting in the 8th moon is in the 8th from the Janma Rashi, that should be avoided at any cost. Let us say we already discussed it anyways, but it has given some importance because let us say you belong to some, as we discussed, you belong to some Aries moon sign. Your nakshatra is Bharani, so you are in Aries section. From Aries, 8th is Scorpio. Scorpio, if moon is transiting in Scorpio, that day you better avoid. You got it? Better you avoid for auspicious activities. So also the Tidhi Nakshatra Yoga Karanas, if you want to see, we'll try to discuss them a lot in our future sections. First thing is the Tidhi must be auspicious. You better avoid Amavasya and Chaturdasi, especially the Krishna Chaturdashi you should avoid always. That is the 14th day of Krishna Paksha, and Amavasya day also better you avoid. Amavasya is a new moon day, is the final day of Krishna Paksha. And nakshatra also, you better fix auspicious nakshatras like Rohini, Revati, Hasta is also very good. We'll try to check which nakshatra is good for which one. I will try to explain you in detail in future videos. Yogas also, better you have yogas like Siddha Yoga or Amrita Yoga, like some other yogas are also good. We'll try to discuss. Karana also, something like Bhava, Balava, Kaulava, these are all some of the good Karanas. Just on fingertips, we talk about these things, right? Bhava, Balava, Kaulava, these are good. And also Yoga, Siddha, Amrita, these are good yogas. Day also you better check. Generally speaking, Monday, Thursday, Friday, these are treated as good because Thursday is related to Jupiter and Friday is related to Venus. So two natural benefics, and Monday is generally our moon, right? It belongs to moon. It's always our mother. It tries to give something good. So better we take those days on general note, I'm telling you. And also Lagna, it should be strong and free from all malefic aspects. Any kind of malefic aspect, it should not be on the Lagna, and in the Lagna you should not see any malefic as well. That kind of Lagna you need to see. And also Rahu Kala you should always avoid, Yamaganda you should avoid, Gulika you should avoid, right? So these are some of the fundamental things you should check while fixing Muhurta, that is the auspicious time. We try to discuss these things in detail in our future videos. Thanks for watching this video.